I'm Andre Kachaturian of Nesson.com with Matt Perino of UFC.com, head of UFC 210. Matt, you're already in Buffalo. Yes. How's it going out there in your hometown?
It is a beautiful week here in Buffalo, my hometown. Everybody's excited for the UFC, and we got a big main event, Daniel Cormier, Anthony Johnson, and we're going to talk a little bit about it, I think.
Yeah, the light heavyweight championship. Daniel Cormier trying to defend that belt against Anthony Rumble Johnson. Now, Rumble Johnson, we look at him, he's the type of guy with a huge devastating punch. I think the only way this guy wins the fight is in the first few rounds. The guy's going to have to knock him out with his devastating blows. Do you think that's the only way he can win?
Daniel Cormier agrees with you, and that's what he's been saying, you know, in the lead up to this fight, which has been very long. They were supposed to fight at UFC 206. They had a full media tour together. They've done it again for Buffalo, so they're very familiar with each other. And Daniel says he plans on dragging him into deep water once again, drowning him, and then you know, that's the game plan of the king of the grind. But Anthony Rumble Johnson said he learned from that first performance. He struggled to keep up the pace with Daniel Cormier, to kind of wear him, especially when the fight got on the fence. But I think this time around, it could be a little bit different. I think Anthony is preparing for a longer fight. You may not see as many like big punches, big kicks earlier in the fight, but you know what? Anything can happen when Anthony Rumble Johnson's in there.
Here's the thing, though. I think Cormier can take a punch. We saw against Gustafsson, that was an all-out battle, as you said. He took 120 significant strikes in that fight. It went the full distance, and I think, you know, Cormier is the type of guy, he can withstand those blows from Rumble Johnson, and I think he's going to be able to take this to the distance, wear him out, fight in a very conservative fashion, and try to win via the judges. What are your thoughts on who might win this fight? I know you're kind of on the edge of both of them.
I think it's such a tough fight to call because, like we said, there's so many factors that go into this. Can Anthony Johnson hang with Cormier if this fight goes into later rounds? Can Daniel take those first blows? I mean, he said, you know, that first punch was the one that made all the headlines because he knocked him across the octagon. But Daniel has said that it was the kicks that did the most damage in the fight. Anthony Rumble Johnson is a complete striker. If he lands early in this fight, it could change the complexion of the fight. Daniel might not be able to implement his game plan. So, but I am going to agree more with you. I'm going to stick with the champion. I think Daniel does enough in this fight early in this fight to keep Rumble at distance and then eventually utilize his game plan to pick up the win.
Well, Matt, it's not often where we agree with each other, so I'm glad, you know, this time we were able to do so. But UFC 210 will be Saturday night. Check it out on pay-per-view and keep it on Nesson.com or UFC.com for all of your UFC 210 coverage. Thanks a lot, Matt.
Thank you.